All right, today we're going to be looking at 7-2 prep. We're getting ready for polynomial functions, and we want to write this given polynomial in descending order. And what that means, you're going to look at each term. Each term is going to be either a number, a variable, or the product of a number and a variable. And you're going to look at the power, which we also refer to as the degree. And we're going to put these exponents in order from largest to smallest. And then if a term doesn't have an exponent, that's considered zero. So that's the constant term. So putting this in order, we would have, now the 4x to the fifth has a negative in front of it. So you're going to keep that sign with it. Whatever sign precedes it, it's going to stay with it. So it's 4x to the fifth is negative. The next power is a 3, and it's a minus 5x to the third. And then 5x squared is positive, so we're going to say plus 5x squared, and then plus 12. Okay, so this is in order, descending from largest to smallest, keeping these signs intact. So after that part, we're going to talk about the leading term. So once you put it in order, the leading term is the one in the front once you put it in order. So that would be the whole thing, the negative 4x to the fifth. All right. And then it wants to know the leading coefficient. So the leading coefficient is only the number, okay? So this right here, just the 4, the negative 4 is the leading coefficient. Okay. So those are terms that you will be hearing over and over and seeing, and you want to be familiar with what they mean, okay? All right, so 2 says solve the equation. We're going to separate multiple answers with a comma if necessary. So solving the equation is going to require us to factor. It's already in order. Okay, so when you have 4 terms, we do what we call factor by grouping, which means we're going to group the first 2 together, and we're going to group the second 2 together. And I'm going to factor out something from these first 2. So they both have in common x squared. So I'm going to factor out an x squared, and that's going to leave this inside parentheses 6x. And you factor out the whole thing, so let's just say minus 1. Divided by itself. We're basically dividing, so when you divide by itself, you end up with 1. I want to factor something out of this expression so that what's left inside is the same as 6x minus 1. And both of these numbers are divisible by 25. However, if I just divide 25, this front term will be negative, and I need it to be positive. The second term is positive, I need it to be negative. So we're going to divide a negative 25. Or factor out a negative 25. In doing so, this will be positive 6x and then minus 1. Okay, so once you do that, if it works out, what you'll notice is this is a term, and then you have this separation, and then this is a term. Both of these terms have in common this 6x minus 1, so we're going to factor that from both of them. Okay, and then the terms that are left, x squared minus 25, we put that together. Now, you can set each of these equal to 0 and solve them. So we'll have 6x minus 1 equals 0, and then over here we'll say x squared minus 25 equals 0. You add 1, divide by 6, so we get x equals 1/6. And then over here you can do one of two things. You can notice difference of squares and write it as x plus 5 and x minus 5, and set each of those equal to 0, which will give you two answers, x equals positive or negative 5. Okay? Or if you just solved it and you added 25, and then you do the square root, you remember when you take the square root of a number, you have to do plus or minus. So this still gives you x equals positive or negative 5. So you get two answers, depending on which way you do it. Just depends on what you see. So we get three answers altogether: 1/6, positive 5, and negative 5. So when it says solution set, they want you to use curly brackets. Nope, that's the empty brackets. This one, braces, -5, comma, 1/6, comma 5.